following video is about paid maternity leave in the United States and throughout the world. I chose this topic because I found it quite interesting to learn about the motherhood penalty, gender wage gaps, and the second shift. After researching paid maternity leave, I came to the realization that there are so many nations that offer this benefit. In fact, there are more nations that offer paid leave than nations that don't offer any at all. Specifically, of the 193 countries in the United Nations, there are a small handful that do not have a national paid parental leave. These countries include New Guinea, Suriname, a few South Pacific Island nations, and, lo and behold, the United States of America. So, the question is, why doesn't America have paid parental leave? According to a poll from MSN, 93% of Americans agree that mothers should receive some paid leave after new babies. And nationally, 85% of Americans say fathers should also be entitled to paid leave. And 88% of Americans even say the same for adoptive parents. After further research, I compiled a list of possible reasons why the U.S. does not have a national paid parental leave policy. Reason number 1, the aftermath of World War II. Because European nations suffered such high casualties and massive damage to their infrastructure, they needed to get more people working, which meant getting women involved in the workforce. For the U.S., women were working while men were at war. And as soon as our troops returned home, the women returned home, no longer working and continuing to care for the kids and the home. Reason number 2, American democracy. American democracy was founded with values like individualism and equal opportunity. Unlike many European democracies, the U.S. has never been a monarchy or a feudal society, which means there is less awareness of class divisions and workers are more likely to join unions. Therefore, our democracy results in more sympathy for businesses. Peter Capelli, a professor of management at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, explains, Americans have a lot of sympathy for small businesses because American people you would have thought were workers historically thought of themselves as potentially being small business owners. If we were all small business owners, we wouldn't want our hands tied with more regulations than necessary. Another notable perspective comes from NPR's political reporter and data expert Danielle Kurtzleben. She explains, the U.S. really stands alone in having a different national attitude towards time off from work. It's the idea of the American dream. We're all kind of aspirational. The U.S. is kind of an individualistic place. Reason number 3, the business community. Another opposing force against paid leave is the business community. Trade groups like the National Federation of Independent Businesses and chambers of commerce at the state and national levels have repeatedly opposed paid leave policies. The business community says they're opposed to the government telling businesses how to institute these policies. They argue that paid leave is expensive and businesses should be able to figure it out on their own. Finally, let's dive into the economic benefits of paid parental leave. Economists have found that with paid leave, more people take time off, especially low-income parents. Paid leave raises the probability that mothers return to employment later, work more hours, and earn higher wages. In California, where the paid leave policy is a decade old, leave taking rose 8% among high school graduates and 12% among Black mothers. For college-educated and white mothers, there was no significant increase. According to Maya Rawson-Slater, a professor of economics at the University of California, Santa Barbara, the punchline is it reduces disparities in leave-taking between low and high socioeconomic groups and does so without damaging these women's later labor markets. Former President Obama once said, "It's time to stop treating childcare as a woman's issue and treat it like the national economic priority it is." Paid leave could increase the percentage of women in the workforce and help middle-class families earn stable incomes. However, paid leave can ultimately backfire if employers penalize employees by denying raises. To conclude, the U.S. is far behind when it comes to paid leave, and a national law would help, but there must also be changes in public awareness and workplace culture. Thanks for watching.